2, 1, go. Hey guys, Chip and Eric again here with 17.4 first look. As always, we're going to start by explaining the workout, then we're going to break it down by each movement. Eric, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so this is a repeat of last year's workout. So it's an AMRAP 13. You've got 55 deadlifts, 55 wall ball, 55 calories on the rower, and then 55 handstand push-ups. If you complete all that, it's 220 total reps, and you wrap back around and start back on deadlifts. So, what you're going to want to make sure you're focused on as far as prep work is making sure that your lower back doesn't blow up early in the workout, okay? As we know, wall ball and row, if your back is lit up, they are going to be much more challenging for you. You're probably going to want to drop your wall ball early. You're probably going to row slower. So we want to make sure you're focused on opening up those hamstrings, maybe working on your psoas a little bit, those deep hip flexor muscles. And then also some things that people don't think about are lats. So obviously lats are going to help with handstand push-ups, but they're also going to help with your wall ball. Every little bit of muscle that's pulling you back down is something you have to fight through to extend those arms for the wall ball. So make sure you open those up. Erectors, obviously, again, for the deadlifts. When we talk about deadlift form, one thing that I notice with most athletes is when they extend, they tend to think about lifting with the chest or lifting with the back, which puts a lot more of the exertion on your low back, rather than what you should be doing, which is driving with the legs. So the upper body should be opening as a result of the hips opening, okay? So a quick little example here. If you think of my bicep as my erectors or my back muscles, and my shoulder, okay, my deltoid as my glutes. If I keep myself extended in an isometric position and I do a bunch of this, what muscle is going to get blown up? Right? My glutes. If on the way up I start flexing my bicep on the way up, what muscle is going to get blown up first? My bicep's going to start getting blown up because there's a much more exaggerated lever, okay? So the same thing applies to your erectors. If on the way up you are thinking about flexing these back muscles as you come up, rather than just saying isometric and driving with the legs, opening with the hips, you're going to over fatigue the low back sooner. So really focus on that hinge, focus on driving with the legs. You want to talk about wall ball?
Yeah, backing up a little bit, you guys can all rest easy. This workout is going to reward your fitness level, and it's set up in such a way that regardless of how you break things up, as long as you keep moving, you're going to do as well as you're capable of doing. Basically, it's a quintessential CrossFit workout, and then in the sense that it's a medium heavy weight for most people, and then it pre-fatigues you for a high skill, and then the best of the best get back to the deadlifts at the end. The key here is fast is fast. It doesn't really matter how you break things up, as long as you keep moving and you don't force yourself to rest. As far as general strategy goes, you're going to want to take a look at this workout and look back on workouts you've done in the past, and consider things like, okay, what did I feel like last time I did a huge set of deadlifts? What did I feel like last time I did a set of 30, 40, 50, 55 unbroken wall ball? And the goal here is to get to the handstand push-ups and to get there as quickly as possible, to get through them, and then to hopefully chip away some deadlifts on the second round. But the cool thing about this workout is it's almost like 4 workouts within one. You can almost take each muscle group to failure except for your shoulders, okay? You can't take your shoulders to failure until like the last 15, 20 or so handstand push-ups, otherwise you're just doomed. But you can blow up your hamstrings and your glutes on the deadlift. You don't want to blow up your back because that will affect you on the rower, the wall ball, and the handstand push-ups. But getting back to Eric's original question, for the wall ball, you know what wall balls feel like to you. My kind of mantra is you should never do a set that's smaller than 10. And for it's 55 wall ball, this should be as close to unbroken as you think you can do, because you got a very long break afterward on the rower. As far as form goes, what I like to do is breathe. It doesn't really matter what you're doing as far as form goes, as long as you're breathing. Creating and maintaining intra-abdominal pressure and maintaining rhythmic breathing throughout that midline pressure is so key. So that's your priorities. Figure out a way to keep your midline tight, your heels down while you're breathing. Okay, as far as the actual form goes, what you want to do is not keep your elbows up. Okay, that's going to blow up your shoulders. You want to keep your elbows tight and almost with your shoulders forward. You want the ball or your hands to be right under the ball, so you're naturally going to have the ball higher instead of squeezing it together. What a lot of people like to do that requires a little bit of additional coordination is doing the swim. What that allows you to do is shake out the shoulders and also keep them below or keep them lower for longer. Okay. Avoid jumping, just like the burpee workout. You want to reduce any plyometric as much as possible. So don't jump unless it's at the very end of the set and you absolutely have to. Row technique. This should be uncomfortable for you the whole time. The handstand push-ups are a high skill movement. They're not dependent on your heart rate. So go fairly hard on the rower, but don't totally burn out to the point where you're slowing down toward the end. You want to throttle down a little bit toward the end, or I guess throttle up, so that you're feeling moderately fresh for the last 10-15 seconds right before the handstand push-ups. What I did last year, I'm going to tell you exactly what I did last year for this workout in case that helps you. Deadlifts, did sets of 10, and then I had to do a couple sets of 5. Wall ball, I think I did 40-15. Jason Hogan went unbroken, if that helps you as well. Row, I think I was in the ballpark of 1,400, slowed down a little bit toward the end. And then handstand push-ups, I did 5, counted 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, dropped down, counted 4, 3, 2, 1. One of the biggest keys for the handstand push-ups is staying well below your threshold and breaking up often and breathing while you're vertical, okay? You have a different way of flushing lactate and reducing your heart rate or your breathing when you're upside down, okay? It's kind of tougher to get oriented and to breathe normally. So when you take your breaks, kick down. Flex your shins to make sure that your heels stay high. We'll go over all the standards with you, but no wasted reps is the goal for handstand push-ups, because that last rep where you're trying to squeeze out and then you get no rep is much more than 1 rep. It's exponentially more important. The last thing that we want to talk about is kind of the general mindset going into this workout. I'm a firm believer that your mindset and just mental preparedness going into a workout is going to be everything for how you actually compete. So your mindset, you need to be ready to hurt. Okay, the thing about this workout is it starts hurting right away. It starts out with 55 deadlifts, so be ready and familiarize with workouts where your back, glutes, and hamstrings have gotten really, really sore right away. Be ready for that to happen and be ready to push through. Be mentally tough. You need to know your pain threshold and you need to stay below it. You don't want to ever go so hard and get into so much pain that you have to force yourself to rest. And based on all that stuff, based on different workouts you've done like this before, especially 16-4 if you've done that, develop a game plan, and it's going to come down to your game plan execution. We'll talk to you guys more in person.